حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We are speaking about the width of life. The width of life, there's an echo. The width of life is regarding our capacity to use the blessings of Allah. Allah wants to give us blessings, but we are incapable of using them. So when we are incapable of using it, then Allah stops at the level that we are. He doesn't give us more because we are unable to take it. That's why we only have a little bit of knowledge. Allah could have given us a lot of knowledge. But, just imagine, because knowledge leads to power and domination, if Allah gave one person knowledge, then he would dominate over others. And he would rule over others. It's very simple. That's the whole idea. For example, the syndrome that even our mu'mineen have regarding Maulanas. The idea of the Maulana syndrome is that you have someone who learned, and then because he learned a little bit more than others, or he had just had the chance, or never had the job, so he went and learned, whatever the case is, it could be any of the above reasons. So when you go and learn and study, so now what happened is that you make a living by keeping everyone ignorant. Right? Keeping everyone ignorant, right? As long as they're ignorant, just keep them to the things that they like and that they enjoy, and let them have the candy that they want, and never the medicine that they require. And that's why when you go to any center or any masjid, that's what's happening. You're getting the candy that you want, but never the medicine that you need. And so what happens is this is an easy way of empowering your own self and making everyone enslaved to you. That everyone looks up to you and says, this is the Maulana, It's very sad when a community is like that only one person is alim and the rest of them are jahil. This is not a community. Do you think that this is a community that was the goal and the vision of Rasulullah when he came? Think about it. Is this his goal? That, he wanted to get this goal to you that, what? I'm the alim and everyone else, you just need me here. Just pay me and, we'll be all good. That wasn't the case. The reason he came was to empower people, to make them stronger, to make them knowledgeable that they can live on their own, be independent. Because when they become independent, you see, a slave, if he's a slave because he has no other choice, then he's truly a slave. And his slavery is worth nothing. It's zero. For example, someone, is on welfare, or he's a slave to another person or a system, not because, for example, he chose to be that, it's because he didn't have any choice. He was incapable and he became a slave. But someone who actually has a choice, and then has everything that he needs to be independent, and then out of his own choice and free will chooses to be a slave of another, this is not a slave, he's a free man. Even though he's an abd. Even though he's a slave, he's a free man. So the idea is that, if someone has one thing, if Allah gave someone something, then yes, it's very easy to empower yourself and make others weak. It goes to our head. But when someone, for example, when Allah gives you and you see that it's more than what I need, if it's money, if it's wealth, anything that you want, you see that this what happens is that you will understand that the extra that I have is not meant for me. Allah made me a trustee for this so that I can give it to someone else. You know, it doesn't mean just welfare. It means that you create jobs. You make employment for others. You make a livelihood for other people through that. Not just, for example, sadaqah. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because we need to understand that when Allah gives us something, there's a limit that we can use. Whatever I can use is what is ours. Everything above that is His. An explanation of this through hadith. Let me, if you all can then send a salawat. Just one more time if you can move forward, you know, we can pack ourselves in, you know, more people can. You know, this is a hadith Qudsi. Hadith Qudsi is a saying that is from Allah, inspired by Allah to Musa, what He spoke to Musa with. And those things have been narrated through our Prophet and the Imams, and they have said that this is what Allah said to Musa. So it's directly coming from Allah. You know, it's not the Quran, but it's directly coming from Allah, and these are teachings that He has given to Musa in explanation, advices, or just small little wisdoms. So in one of those wisdoms, Allah says in this Hadith al-Qudsi that the poor, those who I haven't given, some people Allah does not give a lot to. He restrains them, constrains their means. He doesn't give a lot of money to, or wealth to, or food to. So He says that those who are poor, they are my family. I take care of them. It's my job to take care of them. They are my family. The poor are my family. And the rich are my trustees. I give them the extra so that they can, from their point, give that to those and make it reach those who need it. And that's where you see that if you have more than what you need, then Allah is making you a trustee. He has given you that position that you have become His trustee, that now whenever you do, and it's not just welfare that you give sadaqah and that's it. No. Anything that you can do to create employment, you know, help someone educate themselves that they can get a job and livelihood. Whatever you can provide. All of these things, you are the trustee. And so now, what is the width? Width is the capacity that we have that we can take the blessings of Allah. When we look at ourselves, we don't have that much capacity. That's why Allah doesn't give us much. He does not give us much because we aren't able to, we cannot handle it. We will lose our deen, we will lose our faith, we will lose our akhlaq. We will corrupt ourselves if we had a little bit more. If Allah deemed it correct to give us more, He would have given it. It's good to ask Allah. When you ask Allah to increase your rizq, it's good to ask that. But when you make this dua, understand this also what I'm saying. When you make a dua, we have many duas to increase rizq and provisions, right? We have many duas and people read it. And that's the number one dua that is sought by mu'mineen from Maulanas, you know. You know, Maulana, a dua to increase our rizq. Okay, great, you know, you want a dua to increase your rizq. But if you read those duas, if you want the rizq to increase, Allah, you think that He's not willing to give you more rizq? So the idea of asking Allah to increase your rizq is to make yourself increase your capacity. That's what you need. So when you are asking Allah to increase rizq, then Allah is saying, okay, increase your capacity so I can give you more. Become a bigger cup so I can pour more into you. Become a bigger cup. That's why one of the qualities of Anbiya, of the Prophet, is what? Sharh sadr. His heart is big. Rasulullah's heart is big. That's why no matter how much you see that he sees you weak, he still is in love with you. He still loves you. He doesn't forsake you. He doesn't say you are a shame. You're an embarrassment to me. He never judges you. He's always someone who is positive about you. And this is why you see that he is the prophet, because he has that big heart. That's why he's able to, Allah is able to give him more, and he's able to give that to others. And this is, when you look at it, that's what it means. We are limited in our capacity. And that's what we need to increase. When we look at the life of this world, it is restricted for us. Why? Now let me just explain this a little bit, and then we understand. We'll go forward about how you can increase your capacity. We will speak about it. But right now, today, just one thing I want to explain, and that is regarding the nature of this life here, right now, what we are doing here. Why is it that Allah has caused limitations, and by limitations that lead to problems? You see, the problems that we have in this world, as you experience right now, is only because of limitations. If everyone had their own mansions and their own billions and their own world, no one would be interfering with each other. Right? Everyone will be happy with their universe. This is my universe. My world. Yes, it's my world and that's it. I don't want to interfere with others. But the problem is, when my world becomes so small that if I raise my elbows, it's going into someone else's world, it creates problems. The problems we have in this world is because of the lack of space, lack of resources. That's the problems we have. So let's understand this first, because it's necessary for us to understand the nature of this life that we're living, so that we know how to navigate through it. Let's send the salawats. Let's talk about problems. When I was a kid, the problem was that we didn't have any good video games. Yeah, when I was a kid, I remember, the first game I played was Atari. I don't know if you remember that. Right? It used to come with these cartridges, this big old box, and you put that cartridge in there, and and then you play it, right? It was really black and white, right? It was just black and white games, and like Space Invaders, Pac-Man, those type of games, right? Duck Hunt, yes. That was good, So what happened is that we used to play those games. Now, if you look at those games, right, there was no graphics. They were very simple to play with. It was actually nothing. After a while, you'll know all the moves, what's going to happen. It's like you knew everything that's going to happen. There's nothing new that's going to happen, and hence you're playing the same thing over and over again. And because of the fact that it was so monotonous, that it was so repetitive, it was so easy to conquer, you will see that. But we still used to play a lot, be up there, all night, on summer vacation, not in school days. Summer vacation, I'd be playing there and doing these things. And so as I used to play that, and now when I see the new games out here and the new systems that are out here that are so interactive, that you're playing against others, and there's so much going on in a video game right now, right? And it's exciting, right? If I take the kid from this generation, and go back in time to when I was a kid, and if he played the game that I used to play, I know that after 5 minutes, he will be tired. It's true. He will be tired of the game. Just imagine this. You have a game where you're driving a car, and there's nothing, just you're driving, right? There's no accidents. There's no chance of an accident. There's no obstacles. There's no one shooting at you. There's no one trying to kidnap your car, right? Nothing. You're just going and going and going. Cruising America. In desert land. Through New Mexico. You know? And as you go there, just imagine this. You're going there. That's it. That's the game. You play that game. And now, really, how long can you stand that? No matter how patient you are, after a while, you're going to get tired. You're going to get exhausted. You say, this is exhaustive. This is tiresome. This is ridiculous. You know, really, if that's the game that you have to play, that's it. You're just going. Nothing is happening. No action, no challenges, nothing is happening. It's boring. You see that the kids nowadays, if you play that game, you'll be like, after 2 minutes, Dad, this is retarded, you know. I feel retarded after playing this. I can, you know, hear my brain cells dying, you know, going through this game that I'm playing. So here's the thing. Really, the game becomes exciting when there are challenges, when there are obstacles, when there are problems, when there's opposition. When someone is trying to beat you, someone is trying to defeat you, and you have to now survive that. These problems, is what gives game excitement. If these things are not there, then the game would be so boring that you won't be able to go through it. My friends, the reason that we have problems in life is because life is a game. Allah wants to make your life exciting. And it's these challenges in life that make life exciting. You know, I have been on a vacation. Vacation sounds really good for many people who are working, but 1 week on a vacation, you're ready to come back to work. You hate it after 1 week. Yes, you got your tan. But you had that before you went. So now, when you went there, to whatever vacation that you did, you'll see that after going through a few days of no work, no problems, no nothing, you are going to get bored. You are going to get tired of this. If our life was like this, imagine how tired we'll be right now. The thing that gives excitement to life are the problems in life. This is what gives problems. But because we don't know that, we get ambushed by problems. We fall under them, become roadkill to problems. Instead, if we look at these problems and look at them as challenges in a game, then every problem will be an exciting episode of our life. It would be an exciting episode of our life. Our life will be full of joy that, wow, this is my next challenge. You know, what am I up against? You know, income tax. You know, there you go. That's my next challenge. You know, what am I up against? You know, disease. What am I up against? Poverty, unemployment, relationship problems. Everything that happens, then you're expecting it. Why? Because it's a part of life. Why is it a part of life? Because life is a game. The life of this dunya is a game. Allah made it like a game. And we need to treat it like a game. And if we treat it like a game, then every aspect of our life will be full of joy. We will be excited. So much excitement in life. The real excitement in life comes through the problems. If it wasn't there, you will be going crazy right now. If everything just happens the same thing, every morning you leave the house and this and that, you remember that this movie about this guy who lives in a bubble, Jim Carrey, remember that movie? He lives a bubble life, that's it, he's just doing everything, same thing every day. Truman Show, that's right. You look at the Truman Show, what happens in the Truman Show? It's just like that. We are caught in that. And if we live like that, really a time will come when we go crazy. We start questioning what the heck is going on here. Why are there no problems in my life? I mean, even the show understood that you need to add some problems in there. If we don't, the guy will go crazy. Because it's life. We need these problems in life for excitement. But we are all afraid of it. Everyone, the second most popular dua is Allah. That everyone asks the Maulana is, about Allah, how can we avoid bala and problems? Bala means problems and trials. Is there any way we can avoid that? A dua to understand that. Allah gave this bala to you, this problems to you to make your life exciting. And here you are trying to run away from it. You're trying to run away from it. This is what makes it exciting. And innately, here's the thing. Our inner nature wants it. On the outside, we go along with the rest of the people in society and say the things that they all want to hear us say. I'm tired, man. I'm this, man. I'm that. But the inside of us, I love drama. Yes, I love drama. And if you want to see how much you love drama, really, people who work don't have the time to watch day shows, like Jerry Springer and Maury Povich and this and that, But trust me, if you just watch it for 2 minutes, you're hooked. And then you're saying the thing, look at these people, the scum of the earth and all that, But then you're watching it. And you're excited watching it. Why? Because it's in our nature. We love these drama. It's what makes life exciting. And hence, if we can just come to terms with the fact that the problems Allah is giving us and the trials that He gives us is so that we can go through this life, and that every problem that comes is a source of excitement for us because it's a challenge in our life, then you will see that every challenge that comes, we'll treat it with excitement, as opposed to being afraid of it and running away and trying to run away, getting depressed, miserable. Why are people miserable? They don't understand why they have problems. The reason they have problems is because it's a challenge, and a challenge is a part of the game. Challenge is a part of the game. If, for example, you're playing basketball, if you're playing basketball, the hoop, I don't know, how big is the hoop, a foot, a little bit more. That's the hoop, Let's say, for example, you say, you know what, let's make the hoop 5 feet wide. What will happen with that? Then any Tom, Dick, and Harry will become Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, right? The idea that it's small and it's hard to put in is what makes it exciting. It's what makes it exciting. If the goal in football, soccer, it was, so big that anyone who shoots it can make it, then, there wouldn't be any fun in that. The reason that challenges are put in is so that the game can become exciting. And that's why Allah has made life exciting, by putting in challenges in our life. That's how we go through it. That's when we actually go through it. And this is, again, one of the reasons and one of the important reasons why when we look at life, this is what we understand, that the problems and limitations we have that causes problems, Allah, you're doing this. Why? So that I can go through it and really live a life that is full of excitement. Learn. If you look at it the right way, you will see everything that happens in your life is going to make you enjoy it. It's going to make you enjoy it. Just like you're playing a game on your PlayStation or Xbox or Switch. Any of these games, right? Just play it. Why is it good? Because it's challenging. Life is challenging. If we play games, why? Because we don't understand that life is a game. And if you understood that life is a game, then these games will be so boring. All these games, PlayStation, all these games will be so boring if you play the game of life. All of these things will be nothing. And that's what we need to be doing. All right, we'll go forward, inshallah, from tomorrow. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and the blessing to be on the right path, the wisdom to understand His guidance, hasten the reappearance of our Imam, make us His helper when He comes. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Salawat ala Muhammad.